Donald Trump once promised he's going to make housing more affordable, but now housing prices are expected to jump another 3.5% this year. Promises made, promises broken. A Trump tradition.
We will make housing much more affordable. As inflation is tamed, interest rates will dramatically fall. They'll be down very, very low. We'll get them down. We had them down to 2.4% and even lower than that for a period of time. Reducing mortgage rates is a big factor. We're going to get them back down to, we think, 3%, maybe even lower than that, saving the average home buyer thousands of dollars per year. They can now go out. Young people will be able to buy a home again and be a part of the American dream.
And it's not just housing. Fox News, of all places, admits that the American dream has a price tag of $5 million.
American dream is looking more like a nightmare for some working families. New research finding that the lifetime cost of hitting the traditional milestones, things like homeownership, retirement, kids' college, healthcare, weddings, cars, vacations, etc., now totals a staggering $5 million. And here's the kicker. Americans haven't gotten any richer over the last 5 years. Wages flat, savings weak, costs through the roof.
You want all that stuff? It's gonna cost you. And people are feeling it, and they're letting us know. Check out the polls.
Does the American dream still exist? Or maybe more pointedly, is it still achievable? As the Wall Street Journal puts it, America is becoming a nation of economic pessimists. Harry Anton crunching the numbers on this one. I would ask you for some uplifting news, but it sounds like there's none to be found.
No, I would say, America, we have a problem. And it's not just the Wall Street Journal poll that came out. I was looking at an ABC News poll that came out last year as well. If you work hard, you'll get ahead. That is the American dream. Never not true now. In 2010 to 2011, 15 years ago, it was 51% who said it wasn't true. Now look at this number. Woo! Through the roof, 70%. Still true. Look at this. Still true percentage. Falling through the floor. It was 47% 15 years ago. Now it is just 29%. So we basically had a 50-50 nation on whether the American dream was still true 15 years ago. But now it's over 2/3 of Americans who say it's never or no longer true.
A new NBC News poll shows Americans are feeling negative about President Trump's job performance, particularly when it comes to the economy. According to the latest NBC News Decision Desk poll, when asked about inflation and the cost of living, 61% of Americans say they disapprove of the president's handling of it so far. 59% said they disapprove of President Trump's handling of trade and tariffs.
Yeah, no one's liking this economy. And check out Representative Maxwell Frost as he drops the truth on the Republicans.
We need housing, not handcuffs. We have a housing crisis in this country. Every time the rent goes up $100, homelessness goes up 9%. Let me say it one more time. Every time the rent goes up $100, homelessness goes up 9%. Homelessness is a housing problem. And you have no solutions for us here. You're talking about, again, trying to hide a problem rather than fix a problem. It is both cheaper and less challenging for us as a nation to keep people housed than, yes, to help them when they're on the streets. We need to help people when they're on the streets, but we need to fund rental assistance, transitional housing, permanent supporter housing, shelters, all this suite of services that help us keep our people on top of a certain line. Because it does cost more, and it is harder, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. And the president that you follow and that you are lauding wants to make a historic cut to the few services that we have so we can keep people from off the streets. And I think it's despicable.
We need housing, not handcuffs. That's a great saying. And speaking of great sayings, here's Boston Mayor Michelle Wu with another one.
Under the Trump administration, groceries are less affordable. Housing is harder to build. Cures for cancer are farther away. And good news on our economy has been as hard to find as the Epstein list.
Boom! Mic drop. Michelle Wu for the win. Good news is as hard to find as the Epstein list. That should be a t-shirt. What a wonderful t-shirt that would make. Please, somebody watching this video, make that t-shirt, put it online, let's all buy it. Because it's a great line. But the truth is, folks, that the economy stinks. The economy is getting worse. And Donald Trump doesn't like it. That's why he's firing people that tell him that the economy is getting worse. And did we expect anything else? Did we really expect the prices of eggs to go down the first day? Did we expect any of his promises to come through? Did we actually expect that the guy who is a slumlord and who ripped off all the real estate folks he ever worked with, that he was going to create affordable housing for people that needed it? Did we really expect that? Do we not know that he's in the pockets of the real estate developers and the others who are trying to make money? Do we not think that he was going to go and rather than giving housing to people that are unhoused, he was going to handcuff them and pull them off the streets, criminalize it, which is what he's trying to do out there in Washington, D.C., by saying, look, if you don't get off the streets, you're going to end up in prison. Is that the way to deal with this issue of unhoused folks? Did we not expect this? We expected this, but somehow he bamboozled a portion of the population into thinking that he was going to help them, and he did not. Now, let's not forget, I'm not going to lie here, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The economy was not great under Joe Biden, but we were headed in the right direction. And we were coming out of a pandemic where a lot of other countries were dealing with high inflation. And as a matter of fact, the U.S. actually dealt with high inflation faster than most other Western countries. So we were headed in the right direction. And here's Donald Trump promising that he's going to fix everything. When we know the prices were high, we know that there was, by the way, one of the reasons that egg prices were high, there was a shortage of eggs because of some of the, I think it was some kind of egg, like bird flu or something, but there was something going on. That also made it harder. But the economy was suffering. But now the economy is really, like he's now punching the economy in the face. That's what Donald Trump is doing. But let's not forget, when the economy's suffering and punching in the face, somebody's getting rich. And guess who it is? Trump and his family. Billions and billions of dollars just making bitcoins or fake cryptocurrencies that people are buying in order to buy influence from him. There's people who had legal troubles who ended up buying a ton of his crypto in order to get out of those legal troubles. He's getting rich off of things like that. He's getting rich off of charging people staying at his hotels. He's getting rich off of getting gifts from foreign governments. He's getting rich by tanking the stock market when he announced the tariffs, and then his friends realized that he's going to be announcing that it's going to go up again. He actually put a tweet out or something, one of his Truth Social posts, saying now's a good time to buy. And the numbers went up. And we have that famous clip of Charles Schwab, of all people, in the Oval Office and Donald Trump showing off after the stocks had plummeted and then gone back up. He goes, oh, it's doing great. Look, this guy made $1 billion or $2 billion or whatever it was. Who's counting? Who's counting? He and his friends are getting rich. Who do you think is getting rich off of all of the deportations? It's not me. It's not you. It's the people building these holding facilities. It's the people that are providing all of these different weapons and whatever else ICE needs. Because now we've given them one of the highest budgets in the world. ICE has a higher budget than most militaries of most other nations. It's ranked like 13th or 14th or something if you went down the military budgets. So who's getting rich? Who are those people? Those are Donald Trump's friends. Who do you think the alligator Alcatraz, that was Ron DeSantis giving the contract to his friend. So these are the people that are getting rich. They're creating an economy for themselves to get rich while they're tanking our economy. First of all, it's a shock that Donald Trump was upset that the job numbers were down. He fired half of the federal workforce with Doge and Elon Musk. He's deporting all the other people that are working. He raised these tariffs on countries so that companies don't know, should we hire, should we not hire, are tariffs going up, are they going down? Causes this the inconsistency in the business world. And then he's surprised that the job numbers went down? Huh? Really? You did it, dude. You did it. And these tariffs are just stinky, stinky, stinky. These tariffs are not helping anybody. This shows you Donald Trump was a failed businessman. Let's not forget it. He has only come across as successful because he is successful at branding himself. That's the one thing he's good at, which is to bamboozle and brand. So let's not forget the way he started. He didn't start in some, basement of an apartment building, working his way up and buying a unit and then making it 2 and then 10 and then 15. No, he started with a big handout from his father, who was another slumlord who wouldn't rent to black people, who was racist. That's where he started. He got that money, and then he took that money, and he lost it in casinos. Who loses monies in casinos? It's almost impossible. Like, you got to be really, the only people who lose money in casinos are the people gambling. Usually they say the house wins. But in this case, the house lost a few times. And then he wasn't doing well. And then Mark Burnett, the producer of Apprentice, came along and hired him to be the guy. And all of a sudden, his image again was this successful businessman. And he made hundreds of millions of dollars off of that. And then his biggest scam of all time was convincing the American people that he cares for them, that he's going to make America better for them. He's only made it worse from the first presidency to now. First presidency, let's not forget how he handled and mishandled the COVID pandemic. He could have saved a lot of lives if he wasn't out there every day doing those press conferences and just spurting out mumbo jumbo. Millions of people died under his watch. Let's not forget that. This guy is not competent. He has constantly sided with the far right. In Charlottesville, when those white supremacists were chanting, "Jews will not replace us," and he said, "There's good people on both sides." Really, good people on both sides? Really? And then he gets his constituents to attack the Capitol on January 6th, and then he pardons them. In what world is this acceptable? He's continuing to enrich his friends. He's continuing to enrich those people who paid for him to become president. And meanwhile, you and I are watching these prices go up. The tariffs aren't going to be paid by the other. The other country will raise the prices of the products that they're selling. And then the companies that buy those products will raise their prices so that you and I basically pay the tax. Why did they do the tariffs? Was it really out of this great idea, this business idea that Donald Trump had, that if we do tariffs, companies are going to come and start manufacturing in America and it's going to be great in a year or two, we'll be good to go? Is that really what it was? Or was it more of Donald Trump being a master manipulator, being a master marketer, and trying to market the fact that if he implements the tariffs, money will come in, and at the same time, he's going to get Doge to cut trillions. Elon Musk said $2 trillion worth of expenses. They end up cutting just 100 billion or something. Nowhere close to $1 trillion. Nowhere close to $2 trillion. And they did all this so that he could tell his constituents, look, I'm going to save us money. Therefore, we should pass this big, beautiful bill that's going to give tax breaks to billionaires, and it's going to increase our national debt by trillions of dollars. The truth is, the fact is, if you were looking at the amount of debt that's going to be caused by the tax break that he has now given to billionaires, the amount is, around, 10 trillion or something over 10 years or some number. It's a crazy number. And you can look at the math and say, if we were to collect tariffs for all those years, that we would have that much money coming in to maybe offset it. There was a study done that said it might offset it. But that's just unsustainable, because if tariffs keep being charged and these companies keep having to increase prices, you and I are going to end up spending $25 for a basket of strawberries. Eggs will be more expensive than ever. Avocados already are. Coffee already is. We all feel it. I know I feel it. I see it. Prices have all gone up across the board. So his little strategy of putting tariffs and trying to get companies to come and manufacture here is not working. And companies aren't going to come to manufacture here. Why would they do that when it's so much more affordable in these other countries? Apple famously was in China. Now they're in India. Why not? Why shouldn't they go there? Why shouldn't they go there? Because they can do it. And the fact is that Apple and all these companies, they are ultimately responsible to their stockholders. That's the problem, is that this is all being driven by making money, cutting costs, spending less. But if there were some regulations that made it so that these companies had to give back to the economy, that you can't just go overseas and do all this stuff and not pay taxes. You can't avoid paying your taxes. But they do. They found ways to minimize their taxes, and they found ways to not contribute to our economy. And that's what Donald Trump has done. And he continues to enrich his friends. He continues to enrich the crypto bros. He threw a dinner and charged the crypto bros $1 million each to go. Do you have $1 million to go to a dinner? I don't have $1 million to go to dinner. That shows you how much money these people have and how much they know they're going to be able to influence this guy. Pay $1 million, show up, and then go and embezzle money. They've cut the staff at the IRS. They're getting rid of other rules and regulations that would monitor tax havens. They are doing it's all become less regulation so that the corporations can just run amok and get richer and richer. There should not be Ralph Ellison. Sorry, the Ellison. I forget his first name. The Oracle guy. He's now the richest man in the world. He's worth 300 and something billion or so. He surpassed Elon Musk. Nobody should be worth $300 billion. Capitalism is great, but there should be a point that you get to. First of all, how many billions do you need? I don't know about you guys. If I got $1 billion, I'd be like, yo, I think I'm good. I don't need any more, right? If I got 100 million, I'd be like, I'm looking good. 10 million, 15. How many millions and billions of dollars do you need? Well, the American dream is 5 million. So if you get 10 million, you can live 2 American dreams. Think about that. But these people are greedy and they keep taking advantage of the system. And the system is what allowed them to get so rich. And the disparity of wealth is larger than ever. We saw these housing prices. People can't buy. First-time buyers are not able to buy homes. And yes, the interest rates are high. They're going to start slowly coming down. Hopefully keep coming down. But Donald Trump is trying to manipulate all that. He's ruined the economy the same way he ruined the casinos, the same way he ruined America. And now he's ruining the economy. And it's going to be hard, folks. So buckle up. Unless if we can win in 2026, just get a Congress going that can at least stand up to him. The Supreme Court ain't standing up to him. The Republican House and the Republican Senate are not standing up to him. They're letting him ruin America to enrich his friends. Guys, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a page right here on YouTube. Go to @Maz Jobrani. Give it a follow. I post stand-up comedy. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know you found me on Rebel HQ. Goodbye.